Welcome to Guns, Guns, Gear, and Guns with Gary Gunderson. I am Gary Gunderson. Bit of a different video today on a sensitive topic. So I have a video on my channel about field stripping and taking apart the bolt on a 98 Mauser action. And there have been a lot of comments on it lately asking about breaking it down and skepticism saying, oh yeah, the shooter certainly did this after taking a shot and running off in the woods. No way he did this. And I think this comes from a misunderstanding from non-gun guys on what it means to break down a rifle. So here's the thing, I don't think he broke down the rifle at all for a number of reasons, but even if he did, the implication that he would take out and take apart the bolt as part of that is ridiculous. For those unfamiliar with Mauser rifles or even bolt actions in general, it was said that the spent casing was recovered in the rifle, which means that after shooting the single shot, he did not cycle the bolt or manipulate it at all, as that would have expelled the spent casing, or you would have to believe he picked up that spent casing after manipulating the bolt when breaking down the rifle, grabbed the spent casing as well as all the other pieces, and then put it back in the rifle when he ditched it, instead of just tossing it somewhere else along the way. So what would be meant by breaking down the rifle? And what would be the purpose in breaking it down? It has nothing to do with the bolt. It would be to make it more compact so that it was more easily concealable. If you were to break down the rifle at all, it would be to remove the barreled action from the stock. And with the stock we've seen, you would essentially only lose from the back of the action to the end of the stock. And I don't have the exact stock here, it's some sort of more commercial one, but on this example, that's only about a foot. That's all you're saving in size if you break it down. Now there are a lot of Mausers, a lot of aftermarket parts. This is clearly not a normal military stock, so the next point may admittedly be incorrect, but the vast majority of Mausers have an internal magazine. This does not come out, it's part of the rifle. The top of the action keeps the rounds in the magazine. And I'll show you what I mean. So let's say you want to take the action out of the stock and you have rounds remaining in the magazine. Guess what? They're not in the magazine anymore. The bullets spill out everywhere, which means, again, he would have had to grab all these bullets that were engraved as he fled, then put them back in the rifle when he put it back together. And I find this extremely unlikely. So where is all this coming from? This seems to be based on a few things. I think discussions of him breaking down the rifle were just initial speculations in how he got away from the scene, and has not been part of any official explanation of events I have seen. Certainly, I looked around, I didn't see any official sayings saying, oh yeah, he broke down the rifle. So maybe if you have seen that, please let me know, but I could not find anything. There's one video in particular that comes up a lot when you search about the rifle being broken down, where someone says you can take it apart in a second or two.
So how quickly could he break it down if he needed to break it down?
A second or two.
What?
Literally just push a button and wrap it around, push another button and wrap it back.
But I couldn't really find anything else on this, and in that video, he seems to indicate folding the back of the stock in some way, but the stock in the picture does not look to have a feature like that, and I'm not aware of an aftermarket feature that would allow you to take apart the stock like this instantly either. Another thing pointing to this is the news that a screwdriver was found on the roof, which generally, yes, a screwdriver would be needed to take apart the screws on a Mauser action, but that's not generally a quick process. Rampant speculation, generally roof access is secured in some way, so maybe he used the screwdriver to get on the roof, get access to get to his spot. I'm not sure what other use it would have had and why he would bring it, but I don't think he used a screwdriver on the rifle before he escaped. Additional evidence I've seen circumstantially supports he didn't break it down. We see in text messages released, the shooter obviously was concerned about getting caught with the rifle, and that's why he ditched it in the woods. That indicates to me that it was not very concealable at the time. It was not just simply hidden in the backpack. And even if it's broken down as much as possible, a full-length rifle is not that concealable. In addition, taking the time, even a few seconds, to try and break it down and handle the separate parts before fleeing the scene is not realistic. And the footage of him jumping off the roof looks like he has the rifle with him, possibly already wrapped in the towel he used when he ditched it. It looks like he even kind of drops it and isn't trying to collect separate pieces. So I know this is fairly basic firearms knowledge, but I was getting so many questions on my other video that has nothing to do with this. I thought it would be better to make one addressing this point directly. If you found this interesting and wanted to learn more about firearms, I have a lot of videos on the channel. You can like the video, subscribe to the channel to see future videos, help the channel grow. I also have a Patreon, link on the screen as well. Any support helps. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.